if it weren't for this. In 2020, my life's door came down with a kick. Without a phone call, a text, or an email, the robber took away my certainty and stability. It robbed me of a picture-perfect finish of a school year. I would have finished the school year watching students draped in graduation gowns move their tassels from one side of their hats to the other and throw their hats in the air as a class of 2020. 2020 had a graduation class that was special to me because 4 years ago I started working at Long Beach Jordan in Long Beach when 2020's graduating class were freshmen and freshwomen. It robbed me also of my summer, which would have started off with swim lessons for the girls and dance recitals, and it would have finished with a vacation in Lake Tahoe, where I would have spent time in boats and jet skis, playing cards and board games, and engaging in meaningful talks with people I love. If it weren't for this COVID thing, life would have been much different. Well, I can go on for hours about what things would have been like if COVID had not come. But honestly, what good would it do to complain about life and to focus on uncontrollable events? If it were not for this COVID thing, I would not have learned how to take from life what it gives me. I would have been stuck in a rut of imposing my will on life rather than learning to adjust to what life serves me. If it weren't for this, I would not have felt suffocating stress and taken out my stress on my little girl shouting from our attached garage into our house, "Get out here, Lily. It's time for you to go outside. I've waited long enough for you to come outside. I told you 15 minutes ago it's time for you to get your butt outside. Get out here, little girl." I was in the restroom, Daddy. I was combing my hair, trying to get ready to come out. She snapped back, storming out of the house to meet me for our regular basketball and bonding time. If it weren't for this, there would be no regular basketball and bonding time. We would have been consumed chasing other things. If it weren't for this, we wouldn't have had months of family time together to bond while playing basketball, reading books, swimming, playing chess, running, working out, baking, cooking, camping out, and on and on and on it goes. You don't talk to me like that, coming outside, slamming my doors, I said, doubling down, sounding just like my parents. Feeling her own stress from this, she broke down trying to explain to me her feelings and emotions as best a 7-year-old could. As she talked, she sat down at the base of our portable basketball hoop, the place where the water goes inside the hoop so it doesn't tip over. She sat there. If it weren't for this, I would not have taken time to sit next to her and listen. I listened. I listened not to hear words, but to hear her heart. If it weren't for this, I would not have listened to the feelings behind the words, such that I did, with such an open heart. Her words expressing her fears and her needs pierced my heart. If it weren't for this, she wouldn't have been in tears. If it weren't for this, I wouldn't have been sitting with a tear-soaked face of my own as I sat side by side with her in our front yard underneath the basketball hoop. If it weren't for this, the world would not have faded away, leaving me only with my concern for my daughter's heartache. If it weren't for this, we would not have bonded to share our hearts so openly through tears and words. If it weren't for this moving moment and others like it, this moving moment and others like it would not have come to pass. I've learned to see this virus as more than just a robber. This virus has caused much heartache, and my heart aches for financial, emotional, and physical suffering COVID has initiated. But I must say I am thankful that occasionally, when I am at my best, I use the challenging moments to grow an understanding of self and the world. If it weren't for this, I would not have learned how to take from life what it gives me. If it weren't for this, I would not have been so convinced that making the best out of what I have is not just a catchphrase. Rather, it is the best lifestyle for me. If it weren't for this, I would have been stuck in a rut of imposing my will on life rather than quieting myself long enough to learn to adjust and to make the very best out of whatever life serves me.